Hey there, Heather, hello there, Chef Cutter Diamond welcome you to yet another Cutter Top 10 NBA video. And today, as I rock the Toronto Raptors jersey and hopefully seeing things happen, we're going to be talking about the top 10 NBA All Star Game moments of all time. I know it's not really all about, the NBA All Star Game was in February and all that, but it's a topic I should have picked up for the NBA, but I just did not think that way. So anyhow, we're gonna be looking at the top 10 NBA moments of all time, All Star Game moments of all time. Why am I mumbling? Anyway, number 10 is Russell Westbrook winning back-to-back MVPs in the All Star Game in 2015 and 16. Russell Westbrook was this relentless guy for the Oklahoma City Thunder before he went to almost every one team every year. Westbrook was great for OKC. He even had a season in which he had a triple double every game. That's basically when you get 10 or more in 3 of 5 categories. You have points, assists, rebounds, like I always do. You could also have blocks and steals. Like if you get 3 out of 5 of the 10 plus, that's called triple double. So Westbrook could score, he could pass the ball, and could get rebounds when he has to. But Westbrook had had some great moments winning back-to-back All-Star Game MVPs. Number 9 is Wilt Chamberlain scoring 42 points in 1962. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain in the All-Star Game was big. This is 1962. This was the season in which he put up 100 points for the Philadelphia Warriors against the Knicks in Hershey when the NBA decided to have neutral site games and all that, trying to get the lesser cities to host NBA games and all that. Bet you didn't know that. The NBA actually did that in the 50s and 60s. Well, they weren't as popular and all that. So, yeah, so Will Chamberlain put up 42 points and 24 rebounds and all that. That, of course, the season in which he averaged more than 50 points per game. So, something to talk about. Number 8 is Allen Iverson and the 2001 Eastern comeback. The East were down to the West by 21 points. I know the All Star game means nothing and all that, but AI put the East on its back, scoring 15 points in the final 9 minutes and taking home MVP honors and all that. So that was just what could happen and all that. So, anyway, yeah, AI would help the East and also be part of the Eastern champion Philadelphia 76ers in the NBA Finals against the Lakers. Yeah, so AI did his job leading his team to the Eastern Finals. Number 6 is LeBron James. LeBron? No, sorry. Am I wrong here? Sorry. Number 7 is LeBron James' game winner 2022. The NBA had their diamond anniversary, 75th anniversary. Of course, I'm a diamond and all that. But anyhow, Cleveland got to host the All Star game because LeBron played in his home state of Ohio, where he was a high school icon, never went to college. Of course, Cleveland drafted him first overall in 2003, helped him out for years, and then in 2010 decided to do the decision to go to South Beach, play for like 4 or 5 years, then go back to Cleveland, helping them win the 2016 NBA title, and then, of course, becoming a Laker icon, of course, at the same time as Kobe Bryant's death, unfortunately. Anyway, LeBron was a great player in essence. And, the NBA needed some help and all that, and LeBron delivered it, getting the fadeaway in his home state of Ohio, and the West won the title. Number 6 is Steve Nash helping Amari Stoudemire in the dunk contest. So the dunk contest will be here for like 3 of the first 6 entries. But anyway, Steve Nash was big and all that. In 2005, he was going to try to be MVP and all that. A lot of people thought he was not going to be MVP of the NBA. But Nash didn't take no for an answer. Nash was there when Amari Stoudemire, who was part of the 2005 slam dunk contest, could bring in a teammate or another player and all that, and came up with a nice dunk in which Steve Nash would, well, the ball would go off the backboard from Amari right to Steve Nash, who would head it up towards Amari, who would do a dunk. Of course, Steve Nash had the soccer pedigree from South Africa and Vancouver, because his brother Martin Nash was a Canadian soccer icon. Anyway, Nash did the perfect header, and Amari basically slammed it down with a 360, and everyone said Steve Nash for MVP. And that was what happened. Steve Nash became the MVP. Number 5 is Kobe and Shaq reuniting in 2009. Everyone knows about the big divorce between Kobe and Shaq and how, Kobe was upset with Shaq getting all the treatment. And of course, Shaq likewise hating on how Kobe was treated and all that, especially after Kobe's 2003 conviction in Colorado. Well, it would have been a conviction if the trial kept going, but the witness, the accuser did not want to testify. So thus, basically, the court case was thrown out. A lot of people did say that the defendant actually was trying to get money from Kobe, could not do so, and basically knew that the jig was up. So she had to basically wave the white flag. It led Shaq to be traded from the Lakers to the Heat, winning the 2006 NBA Finals, and Kobe, of course, being upset that the Lakers wouldn't win a title. In 2009, just before the Lakers finally won a title, and the first time since Kobe and Shaq split up, they became teammates, sharing the All-Star MVP because Kobe was still with the Lakers, Shaq was for the Suns. They put aside their past differences, and everyone thought they were back as friends, which they were. Number 4 is the epic slam dunk battle in 2015 between Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon. This was a dunk contest for the ages. Of course, it's a little biased because the All-Star game was hosted by Toronto. Or was it 2016? Was it 2016? My fault. It was 2016. What am I thinking? Yeah, 2015 was Brooklyn/New York City. My fault. 2016, that's dunk battle in Toronto. Slam dunk competitions were big and all that. We'll have one more for you coming up later. But anyhow, Gordon and LaVine basically put on a clinic with dunks using mascots, taking off in the free throw line using swings and windmill dunks and all that stuff, and even a hoverboard. It was great. It was great entertainment for everyone who loved the slam dunk contest, and Zach LaVine won. Although I wish they could give both him and Gordon the NBA slam dunk contest. Number 3 is Vince Carter's Dunk Show 2000. So the 2000 All-Star game meant nothing, but in essence, it was the slam dunk contest that had everything going. 6 dunkers were all competing. But of course, the 3 main dunkers were Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, and Steve Francis. They all did some beautiful dunks. So much so, those 3 guys obviously were finalists. However, Vince Carter put everyone on notice with his first dunk, which was a slam dunk against the grain, as you will, a windmill going from left to right, and with the windmill dunk. Shaq, of course, doing it on his old school camcorder, and a lot of people were shocked. And then Kenny Smith said, "Let's go home, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go home. Sign the check over, and let's see who plays for second." Vince Carter with big. Second dunk, he actually came from out of bounds, took a few steps and slammed it in. And one guy said, "Well, that's the new player of the out of bounds play for the Toronto Raptors." And then in the dunk that had to involve his teammate or someone else with him, one of the players, Vince Carter, got Tracy McGrady to smack the ball down, and then Vince Carter would slam it down, and everyone says, "It's over, ladies and gentlemen, it's over." Anyway, Vince Carter, his first dunk of the finals, actually did what they call a honey dip, and through the basket, he put his arm down with the ball. He put his arm down because he was rubbing his arm. Well, Vince Carter was definitely going to win the slam dunk contest, and that's what brought the Raptors and Canada on the map. Number 2 is MJ's final All-Star Game 2003. MJ has had some All-Star Game moments, but in his last one for the Washington Wizards, there were rumors that he was going to be an All-Star Game starter, but he wasn't. He wasn't voted in. Vince Carter caved to pressure and gave MJ his starting spot. And in overtime, MJ for the East had a fadeaway shot in overtime. It capped the legendary career, got a standing ovation, and he was done. MJ should never play for Washington. He was well liked. 98 was supposed to be the end of his career, and I wish it was. He was trying to help Washington out, and it didn't work. It just didn't. I love Magic. Well, anyway, number one is, of course, Magic Johnson in 1992. Why wouldn't it be? It had to be. So, anyway, MJ's thing was good, but Magic was big. In 1991, in November, just before the season started, he announced he was HIV positive and all that. He didn't have the AIDS disease, which was pretty good and all that, but Magic just basically said that he was screwing around and it paid. He paid for it. So, of course, he wasn't there. And in 92, for some strange reason, the fans voted him in to be part of the All Star game. But, of course, people were not so sure because, would Magic have, the magic to do well in the All Star game? And also, let's not forget that people thought that if Magic had been cut, the HIV thing, and basically everyone was freaked out over that. Ironically enough, Orlando would be hosting the 92 All Star game because they were known as the Magic. So Magic Johnson came back for the West. He dominated. He actually was playing funsies with Isaiah Thomas and all that. He then would have a weird three-pointer, a signature three-pointer that won the game for the West. Well, the West were up by 40 points. So Magic Johnson just had everything, and the Magic was back. It didn't lead to him playing in the NBA again for a while. And in 96, he came back as a Laker, which was shocking that he would come back in the first place. And no, he didn't play with Shaq because Shaq was still with the Magic. But still, I mean, Magic Johnson led people to believe. And yeah, it's an All Star game moment that will never be forgotten. I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.